was this movie terrifying to you? Seven, based on the seven deadly sins. You might just like some people might lose their mind immediately. I feel the seven deadly sins is something I've seen in anime, I've seen it in some movies, but the way it was used in this movie is incredible.
This was just something out of a Batman movie. The perpetrator, the kind of killings, the kind of death. It was really dark, and I was just like, "Where's Batman? Someone send the bat signal."
I've always wondered why this movie is always talked about. I feel now I get it.
Yeah, and I don't know how he was going to even leave it himself after that. Those are those moments where you feel that there is nothing to just live for anymore. Honestly. It's over. Like, this is the end. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation.
Two detectives. One is looking for a way out. One is looking for a way in. Do you think this is the best Brad Pitt movie ever?
I would say it's one of, when eventually he did show up,
Dude, I screamed. I was like, what the hell? Whoa, I didn't see it coming.
It reminded me of Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding.
It actually felt almost just a bit better than Reddington's scene when he walks into the FBI.
Yeah, honestly, this perk was unhinged, and I was...
Hey guys, welcome to Povcorn, where we give you our unfiltered point of view on all things movies, series, and anime. I'm your host, Michael, and I'm here with my co-host, as per usual,
Chris.
Time for the meat of the show. This week we are covering Se7en from 1995. Now, do not let the year deter you. Do not. Do you want to try selling the movie, or should I go for it?
You should. You sold it to me already without even saying anything. You just like, you should see Se7en. I'm like, okay.
Honestly, this is a movie I've been pushing, but it's pretty epic. So Se7en is a 1995 neo-noir psychological thriller.
Yeah.
By neo-noir, it means it's like it has this French classic dark movie take, as in noir means black, so dark film. But neo as in it has modern aesthetic to it. And then we have the psychological thriller part. So we have a movie where a serial killer begins murdering people, right? Where we see the first death, gluttony, and nobody really takes a hint from that. But then we see a second death called greed, and then the detectives on the show, who are Morgan Freeman, who is Detective Somerset, and Brad Pitt, which is Detective Mills. Both of them have to come together and kind of apprehend this perpetrator. Yeah. And we have, let's just jump into like the review. So the movie is Se7en, and it's Se7en based on the seven deadly sins. Like, how did you feel when that came along? Did you kind of feel it's like cliche? Is overused or something?
No, it was just a fresh take in my head.
Yeah.
I was at first I was watching it and I was very passive. But immediately the first death gluttony hit, I was like, what's this? It looked really gross, but
hideous, man. Completely hideous.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, I kept watching it and it was making sense, and it started to throw more light on seven deadly sins. I think Morgan Freeman, Detective Somerset, he knew from the beginning what was going on, and he said it, but nobody took him serious until it started to look like that. But honestly, this perp was unhinged, and I was... What happened in the end blew my mind.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But let's keep it in. Like, that's epic. Like, I actually felt the same. I actually felt the same way. I feel the seven deadly sins is something I've seen in anime. I've seen it in some movies. But the way it was used in this movie is incredible. In my opinion. So I have another question. It's like, I've always wondered why this movie is always talked about. Like, I've seen it on the rewatchables. I've seen it, like, people make random different YouTube videos on this. It's like, what Se7en was really about. Yeah, and the movie was made in 1995. I'm kind of like, that's weird that people are still talking about it. I was trying to wonder why it's a classic, but I feel now I get it.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel that way? Have you heard of Se7en before, or this is the first time?
Honestly, I think when you mentioned it to me, last week was the first time I'd seen its clips and all that, but I never was drawn to seeing the movie. First, it looked really, really, really dark, and I don't really like see a lot of dark movies.
Yeah.
I like happy movie. You know, it was I knew what I was gonna go into expecting when I went to see the movie. So I really went in with my expectations high, and it did not disappoint. So one thing I would like, could you mention all the 7 deadly sins?
Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I could try.
Yeah.
I could go for it. Can you?
I can't even remember. I know there was gluttony, there was greed, there was wrath, there was envy, there was
Lost. There's
it was sloth or something.
Slots, there's slot, and the last one is I have them on my notes actually. So
Can pull them up.
greed, gluttony, envy, wrath, sloth, lust, and the last one is, what is it? Is it pride?
Yeah, I think is it pride? I think it's pride. I think it's pride.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So those were very, very key to the movie. They were very, very key to the movie, and it felt like Gotham.
It felt exactly,
like
man.
Batman movie.
The way it rains, like the way the city is constructed,
Felt like Gotham, bro.
the way it rains,
Even-
like keep pouring.
Even the precinct, the police station felt like it was just something out of a Batman movie.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was watching it.
I think Matt Reeves actually says he's kind of like his inspiration for the Batman movie, the way the city is, the way it's so dark. Part of his inspiration is from this movie, because you can see that there's a difference in like Christopher Nolan's take on the Batman, right? The city is not kind of dark and stuff; it's kind of bright. It's almost like New York, Chicago-esque, like mixed together, but it's bright. Unlike the Batman and this, like it's a freaking epic movie.
Another reason why I was thinking it was like, I felt like it was a Batman movie was also the perpetrator, the kind of killings, the kind of death. It was really dark.
Yeah.
It was really dark, and I was just like, where's Batman? You know, someone send the bat signal, let him just show up and help them find.
Only him can solve the case.
You know,
It's crazy.
because you know that scene where Brad Pitt, they found his house, and Morgan Freeman was like, we can't just go in, we need a warrant. That's something Batman would just jump in and just get all the information he needs to get from, and you know, it's just, they have to always, you know, walk by the book and all that stuff.
Bureaucracy, the law and stuff. But yeah, this movie is done by David Fincher, which is one of those directors I like love and respect. So you like happy, bright movies, right? But this movie is extremely within my ballpark. It's like I just mentioned Psychopaths in the weekly review. I love this movie. David Fincher has shot like this, shot like a lot more movies that I've seen. So he shot Fight Club. I don't know if you've seen Fight Club.
No, I haven't.
Oh, we are definitely seeing it for this show. So one key team fire before we go on. This is the first time Chris and I are both seeing this movie. So it's kind of those like Povcorn first times, yeah.
Yeah.
So Fight Club, I've seen Fight Club, but you haven't, so that's going to be your first time as well. Have you seen Gone Girl?
I think, yeah, I have.
Ben Affleck. Oh man, that was like another ridiculously good movie. Can you see that there's like a pattern in David Fincher's style?
Kind of very psycho.
Yeah, very dark, very noir-ish. Then The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is
I
another
have
popular
seen
movie.
that one.
Game Changer is like a cult classic. The Social Network,
I have seen that one.
Yeah, which is like a different compared to the other movies.
It's kind
right?
of like, you know, based off of true events and all. So I think that was just one of those fun projects.
Yeah, I feel it's because of the screenplay writer. So it's Sorkin, which is like a god when it comes to screenplay. But yeah, he did those 4 movies. But fun fact, at the time for this movie, David Fincher had just gotten off Alien 3, which was released in 1992. Yeah. And he did not want to read the script for Se7en for over a year and a half because the experience of making Alien was so frustrating for 20th Century Fox. He said, I thought I'd rather die of colon cancer than do another movie. Like, that's insane. That's how bad it was for him. He was fired 3 times.
That's crazy.
On sets. Yeah. And I actually love this because if Fincher had given up on this movie, I don't think we'd have gotten Fight Club or Gone Girl or The Social Network.
Yeah.
It would have been let's say we got those movies, but it would have been a completely different take. I feel Fincher was trying to really make his name with this movie because before Alien, he was doing like music videos. Yeah,
I like when people transition.
It's kind of, it shows his range, right? It's like
I like
he
when
goes
people
from
transition.
music videos to making movies.
Yeah, I like when people transition. It just, like you said, shows range. And I also want to see what they'll do, because when you have a specific set of skills on a particular, idea or a particular industry, and then you jump into something different, you take some of those thoughts and ideas into there, and it would be fresh most times.
Yeah.
In people would not see stuff which is normally seen, because you're coming with a different perspective and ideas. So I really like when people transition.
It's kind of like specific knowledge that only you can get because
Exactly.
you've been somewhere else.
Yeah.
But question, do you feel if this movie came out like this year, 2023 or maybe 2022, it would have been just as good as it was?
It would have been good, and I'm saying this because I felt it would have been easier to catch the perp compared to the other time, because you could see Detective Somerset having to get book records. Like, that was crazy.
It was.
In 1995, from the FBI, like that was how they were monitoring people's activities. But now we are living in a much more digital world, and it will be so easier. And also it might still be difficult, because someone having to do things like this very methodical and very, very careful. So, they would definitely, or he would definitely not have a lot of digital footprints compared to then. So it's kind of like 50-50 for me, So I think it's 50-50 for me.
Yeah. I feel even if it wasn't done in like, if it wasn't like a modern take, but the same exact movie dropped today, man, it'd be sick. And I feel if we recommended this movie to anyone and we didn't like say the title of the year, we told them, oh, this came out in 2020, 2021. Yeah, someone would probably believe it. It's such a timeless movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's something, that's why it's probably a classic. But yeah, I agree as well. I feel Psychopaths is like that kind of modern take. So it's like, there's perps, there's psychopaths that kill this way, but they also have technology. So, and there's cameras like everywhere in the city.
It's just gonna be easier.
Yeah,
like I could see their their computers, and it was so old. I was smiling. It was just vintage.
When he was scanning that paper, I was like, God, what the hell is this?
It was vintage.
I didn't know what that was, man.
It was interesting to see, honestly. It was interesting to see.
Man. It looked like a scanner with like a head that was moving in between lines. But
that's cool.
Another question, was this movie terrifying to you?
They tried to keep it raw, but they still tried to censor it a bit. So it wasn't really terrifying to me. Like, I've seen worse.
You see worse?
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some other people would see it and not, they would feel terrible. It would feel terrifying to them. But it felt was really okay, in my opinion. It wasn't too much. It was just okay. And they left some things to your imagination. Like, oh God, there was this the scene where, was it Lost? Man,
Lost.
That punishment was terrible,
God,
bro.
No. Even just thinking about it.
It was terrible.
I feel it's like the style of the movie. There's like this show, don't tell kind of thing going on. It's like they will show you the dead person or how the person was killed, but they won't tell you.
They leave it to your imagination. Imagine,
exactly.
Just, you know what? Just take it in and think of it.
Do whatever you want to do.
Think of it how you want to think of it, but that is what happened. You have A and you have B. Put them together and you have C. That's just what it was.
Yeah, it was
so
crazy.
Yeah, I liked it that way though.
I found it a bit like Lost deaths made it kind of terrifying. The rest was like, okay, yeah.
That was when I started thinking about that one. Lost. When I started thinking about Lost, I couldn't even conceive it so much in my head. I was like, nah. That should not happen to anybody.
It should not.
Shouldn't.
Man. Did you see the dude like in the scene? Like he was so
when he was telling, in the interrogation room, when he was talking about it, he's scarred for life.
He is, man. And to do that, he had to like breathe in. He didn't sleep for days, and he had to like oversaturate himself with his breaths so that once he shot the scene, he was that shaky, man. That's dedication to the craft.
I like that. That's
Honestly,
good.
Man,
that's good.
It's ridiculous. I know some people find this terrifying because in some circles it's classified as horror. But I'm like, yeah. Or maybe it's because of the lens that we're viewing it from. We've actually seen stuff that's been way worse. Yeah. What other endings do you see for this movie? Because apparently there were alternate endings.
Really? There was more than one?
Yeah, like they could have just after what happened at the end with the gunshots, they wanted to just cut to black. But the issue is if you do that, if you cut to black in the cinemas, the lights come on immediately. You might just like some people might lose their mind immediately. In another ending, there's like Somerset's going to take care of Mills' dogs, yada yada. Then
where do you see all of this?
On IMDb, there's like the trivia section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but like, what about you? What type of ending were you foreseeing when watching the movie? Did you actually expect what was coming on?
I felt he was going to. I was hoping. Like I was hoping he wasn't going to fall into his trap. I was hoping so much. I was like, I know this is what I want to happen. I knew it was not going to happen. But I was hoping so much that he wasn't going to fall into his trap. But then again, I don't know if he was going to be able to live it himself if he just didn't do that. Yeah. That was going to make him go crazy. And I don't know how he was going to even live it himself after that. Like, at that moment, you know, those are those moments where you feel that there is nothing. Like, there's nothing to just live for anymore. Like, honestly, it's over. It's like, this is the end.
Oh, God. Like,
destroyed him.
Completely.
And destroyed him completely. I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation.
I think I'd do the same thing.
I was just hoping he wouldn't shoot. Like, I was just hoping I just wanted him to prove him wrong, because
to be the bigger man,
bro. John Doe felt like so confident in himself with every single thing that he did. He felt so confident in himself. I wanted him to prove him wrong so much, but you know. Human beings.
He has that evidence that he can do what he needs to do. I mean, he's killed 5 people. So the movie kind of progresses in a nice way. So we got gluttony dead, fat dude got dead.
Greed.
We got greed, lawyer dead. We had lust, prostitute dead. We had pride. We had we had slots.
Yeah.
Slots was like a ridiculous death for me. So we had those 5, and then they find out who the bad guy is. But you know what, let's just stop there, because I feel that's what made this movie, the reveal. So I was watching, let's hold off for that, yeah. But an ending I saw was he actually tried to kill Somerset and Mills. That's actually what I thought was going to happen.
Nah, from the beginning, I knew that was not going to happen.
Yeah, for real.
From the beginning, this is when people have a plan. It's very difficult for them to sway from it. And with people like this, they tend to stick with what they're supposed to do. Like,
especially him.
They already have a plan for everything. This guy had 1 year for, was it slot? Or 1 year? But come on.
1 year into making.
It's a plan, and he's sticking to it. So I did not really see him, switching or diverting to. I knew he was not going to shoot Mills when he got the gun on his head, and I knew he wasn't going to do that. I knew he had other plans. But I think then he kind of added them to his plan.
Yeah, he kind of did, right?
Yeah, he did add them to his plan.
Detective. Oh, God, no. It's crazy. Yeah, I understand what you're getting at, yeah. Because once I saw the helicopters and stuff, I'm like, it's going to be hard to kill these guys, but it's kind of like what I was intending to happen. But once I liked that, it went completely far away from my imaginations. Yeah, so I have some personal opinions about the movie. It's like, I like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, the movie establishes some things. There's a very clear difference between Freeman, between Somerset and Mills, right?
Yeah.
You can already sense that tension between them. So we have one guy, he's very methodical, he's diligent, but he's gone
always
through
cool and calm.
Always cool and calm, and it's something that can be built up with like years of practice, right?
Yeah.
So we have a guy that's been through years on the force, and he's about to retire in the next 7 days. when he meets Mills.
Mills.
Yeah, so he's diligent, even from the way he dresses, his knife, everything is just sorted out. And then we have Mills. We have a hard head. We have an impatient guy. We have like a go-getter. He's done 5 years in the force for homicide, and he just moves in. And I like the way they put it in the trailer. It's like two detectives. One is looking for a way out, and one is looking for a way in. And I like, it's just immediately as you start the show, it's like, this is black, this is white. Clear tension, conflict immediately. And they also do the same thing with them versus the city, right? So you can see from like the first things, the cops do not like Somerset. They don't like Somerset. And Mills, it's not like the cops. Remember when they walked into Gluttony's death, the death scene? He was like, you guys didn't check for vital signs? So he sees himself as some kind of like, I don't know, he's just different from the rest of them. And I like that that whole tension is... Did you notice that while in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I think they call, what they call them? Is it dicks?
Like dicks going last.
Dicks going last. That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. But I love movies like, I mean, that's what makes a story, right? Conflict. The main person, the protagonist, is trying to get to something. But there's also conflict within himself and within his team and within the people he's around. Epic movie. Do you think this is the best Brad Pitt movie ever? Do you think this is the best performance?
I would say it's one of.
One of, eh?
Yeah, he was very young in this movie, so I think with more years comes a lot of experience, and also it also depends on what you're working on. If it's amazing, you just have to do justice as well to it. So yeah, I would say it's one of
his best. I loved him in this movie. He was so twitchy and stuff. Like, I need to get stuff done. And Morgan is like, why? I'm leaving. I need to get out.
Young boy.
Yeah. Let's move on to like the acting performances since we're talking of the actors. So we have Brad Pitt as David Mills, who is considered a rookie, but not in his head. He's done 5 years homicide, but not here. He's way in over his head, hard head, chatty, impatient, dismissive. Fun fact, Denzel Washington was asked to play this role, and he turned it down.
Wait, he was supposed to be Detective Somerset, yeah?
He was supposed to be Detective Mills.
Nice.
Yeah, he turned it down saying it was too dark and evil. Too dark and evil.
Yeah.
And later he regretted his decision upon seeing the screening. Also, Sylvester Stallone also turned down the role for the exact same reason.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And some people just... they just don't want to do some certain things.
They're like, they don't want to get
They have a line.
Yeah, straight up line. Then we have Freeman, who is William Somerset, stuck up, uptight, righteous, in my opinion. But I feel he's rightly so. He's done his time. He can be cynical. He hates his city. He's maybe fearful of it, or he's seen enough that
he has seen it a lot.
Yeah,
and it's crazy how with 30 years in the force, you haven't even shot your gun. He said he hasn't. He said he hasn't even shot it once. And there was something he said. He said, our job is us just getting documents, getting stuff in an order that other people can understand it. That's pretty much what the job is all about.
It's like filing, almost like admin.
Yeah, almost like admin.
Something, right?
Yeah. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was epic, man. I like his process, the way he goes about doing things. He's just so calm. He's like too calm. Like, I remember when he first met Mills and Mills said something that pissed him off. He was like, "You just met me. You don't even know me." Yeah, we see him not wanting to be involved in this case at first, but then at night he goes to the library and he's kind of researching it and reading on it.
Yeah, he left a note for him to go read these things. So even if he seems like he just does not care, he really cares.
He does, man.
Yeah,
he's a man of diligence. Like, he's meticulous. I feel he actually enjoys his work. Even he just hates the environment he's in. Like he said, it's like he hates the lack of apathy.
Yeah. Oh, that was a very good one for me. It's one of my best scenes when they talked about that. I really enjoyed that particular scene. because it picked a lot of things. Was like, I just don't think I can continue to live in a place that embraces and nurtures apathy, as if it was a virtue. Apathy is a solution, then the whole dialogue. And then he says, I mean, it's easier to lose yourself in drugs than it is to cope with life. It's easier to steal what you want than to earn it. It's easier to beat a child than it is to raise it. Love costs. So if you love something, it's going to cost a lot, It takes effort and work, which I really agree with.
It's an epic quote. I actually love that scene from the bar. But do you get the vibe that Somerset is kind of like weary, he's just a tired guy? I mean, he has his metronome, just waiting for the time to pass.
That's what it looks like, but that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
No,
man.
he does care. He does care, and it shows from the amount of time he did put in to helping Mills, even though he did not have any, reason to. He's leaving,
right? Yeah.
Just doesn't have any reason to, but he still did help him. And when Mills's wife invites him over, you could find some form of humanity in him, not just being like this robot type kind of person. You could find some form of humanity in him, and you could feel that if they were actually given the opportunity, they would have been real good partners.
Despite one being older.
Yeah, they just somehow just complement themselves.
That's another piece of conflict. It's like youthful exuberance versus old age versus retiree. Yeah. That's another good conflict space in this movie. Since we're talking about, let's talk about like who carried the movie in your opinion.
I would say it's John Doe. He was just this character that everybody was. I was looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to see who this guy is doing all of these terrible acts. And when eventually he did show up, I was like,
dude, I screamed. I was like, what the hell? Whoa! I didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
I did not see. It's like you have a character. So John Doe is a character, and nobody's showing who John Doe is, right? And then you just kind of piece together, like stitch multiple. Maybe you've seen multiple psychopaths or sociopaths. You put them together. But when I saw Kevin Spacey, man, I lost my mind. I was not
expecting him to show up at the precinct and everything.
Oh man!
I was thinking maybe they would find him some other way, the way they almost found him the first time. But I was wrong.
Yeah. We're all wrong, man. He just walked in. He was like, detective. So
you, this is a man that has planned everything.
Oh man, no, that was sick. It actually felt almost just a bit better than Reddington's scene when he walks into the FBI.
I remember that.
Oh man, it was.
But it was at the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning of Blacklist, and this
took off his hat, took off everything. And it just.
Now these people were so key on hiding who their antagonist was.
Yeah.
Because 40 minutes into the movie, you wouldn't know. No clue.
It was really John Doe.
Yeah. And also during the marketing in 1994, 1995, they never once mentioned Kevin Spacey.
Crazy.
In the trailer as well, you only hear Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. They never mentioned Spacey. So it came as a shock. I actually want to know what it felt. I feel it felt the same way that I did in the theaters. The people at the theaters were like, oh my God, because Kevin Spacey was so big that year. I know now he has all this accusation against him, all this horrible stuff he's done. But yeah, during that year, he was so good. So I feel John Doe carried the show. I also feel Morgan Freeman carried. Like he's
very
stoic.
subtle.
Yeah. His stoic nature. Like it felt like a Morgan Freeman movie. You see him in the beginning, you see him at the end. So I feel it's his movie.
Saying
honestly.
Something with his voice.
Yeah, definitely.
Saying something, dropping some, deep stuff. Yeah, some gems. At the beginning and in the middle and then in the end when everything has...
The final quote kind of sealed the movie, man, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, what was that? You already said Lost too for me, man. Like, honestly, if you watch the movie, I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Let's hop to key scenes, most rewatchable scenes.
I would have said the end, but it was very sad for me. And then the other one I would have, I think would be rewatchable for me was when they were at the bar and they talked about apathy, and then when he was talking about rape prevention as well. It's just basically because of the monologue, what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And then I think the chase.
Yeah. The chase is really good. I have that on my list as well.
When they found his place, you'd see him walking like he was coming towards them, and next thing he pulled up his gun and he just started shooting at them. And I was like, this is now an opportunity for them to make use of their guns. Did he even make use of? Did he shoot?
Nah, they never fired.
The Mills, he didn't fire.
He didn't fire at all. I think he did.
I think he fired a couple.
Yeah, at the staircase, he fired a couple times. Yeah.
So I think those are my sins. Those are my sins.
I have a few scenes.
Also, when they were at the house, when they were talking about the real estate agent bringing them to the house, a couple of minutes, every time, 5 minutes. They found out the first night when the train passes.
It reminded me of you, like with the train in front of your former place. But I don't think it bothered you that much.
Nah. It was a beautiful thing to see. He was like the sheriff of the house. It's funny. They laughed about it, and that was cool to watch. Yeah,
I have that one of my watchable scenes as well. I have the food chase scene, which I actually loved. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of 1990s movies, but I feel, let me just like, that's off the top of my head, for a 1995 movie, that the food chase scene was epic. It was pretty epic to me, through the buildings all the way to the cars. I mean, Brad Pitt jumping from car to car, all those things. I also have when the killer walked into the precinct, which we've talked about, right? Pretty rewatchable, man. Like, I went back to see that over and over again. I kind of compared it to the Raymond Reddington scene, and Raymond Reddington still obviously kills it. That's one of the best scenes to be ever made.
I like people that walk in like that with so much,
just walking with confidence, like I am here.
Whenever you come across someone like that, just know that person has it all figured out.
Oh man, a lot. I also have soothing, relaxing, vibrating home, which you just pointed out. I have another rewatchable scene when Mills and Somerset were sleeping. When they were trying to find out fingerprints. It's such a small key thing, but it adds a nice touch to the overall movie.
Yeah.
I have in the car when Mills was recounting the first time he fired a gun. Pretty epic scene. You also mentioned that. I like the end, the revealing of the sin of envy and the sin of wrath. Like I said, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming at all. And the whole car scene at the end is also rewatchable. The whole conversation they had.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, it was epic. I also have a question there. Might this have been the deepest car seat conversation you've ever seen in the movie?
I can't really think of any at the moment. But I know there is. I think. Have you seen the Green Book?
No, I have not. No.
They were mostly in the car, in their car, like for most of the movie. That they had a lot of deep conversations. I can't really remember them right now, but I know that was a good one too. I think there are others as well. But yeah, it was a good one. But I know there are more.
There are more.
If you want to start searching, you'd find more really cool, interesting ones. The one that just comes to my mind right now is the Green Book. I can't really think of any other one at the moment. But yeah,
off the top of my head, I've seen like a couple of, car scenes in anime, but in movies we have Mindhunter. There are two detectives moving from city to city, trying to investigate what it's like to be a psychopath, right, or be someone that kills people for fun.
Yeah,
and these guys, they often have deep conversations, almost like True Detective, which I have not seen, but I feel is the same. I've heard that it's the same type of take. I've also seen the scenes in what's the name of the movie? Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yeah. The car scene where they were in the tunnel and whatnot. And the conversations there were deep as well. But I feel this one like kind of hits hard because it's not just a deep conversation, it's a deep conversation with a lot of tension going on. It felt like the car was jostling or something. Yeah, but that's my take on it. Best competence porn scene, the library scene. Pretty epic. I mean, him doing all the research.
Yeah.
The FBI guy saying, didn't see that coming.
I was wondering what was going on until he mentioned it. I was like,
yeah. I was wondering who the guy was. Yeah. Then I like the way they made detective work seem bearable and interesting in this movie. So it's it's kind of like, I don't know how to put it. So normally when you see a detective movie, it could get slow, you get drawn out. But using the 7 deadly sins as a device kind of shows you progression. So gluttony is down. We have 6 more. Envy's,
yeah, you knew there was an end point to
like a
it.
countdown. It makes the movie move forward.
It's like when you know that there's a bomb that's about to go off. You need to be very quick to find clues, to find out where this bomb is, and all. You have to push. You have to do. You might even do things that's not by the book, just to make sure you find this bomb before it goes off. So it's that tension and chaos mixed
it's
and
nice.
everything.
It shows the progress, makes the movie progress. No, you could just sit. I didn't notice when the movie ended. Honestly, it just like went by. I'm like, God damn, that's good. Okay, move on to quotes. I have some quotes here. I like this David Mills quote in the car. You're no Messiah. You're a movie of the week. You're a fucking t-shirt ad burst. I was like, who comes up with that? Who freaking comes up with that,
Crazy.
man?
That's
crazy stuff, man. You mentioned quotes about apathy.
Yeah.
Pretty deep.
Yeah.
We have John Doe also talking about wanting people to listen. You can just tap them on the shoulder. You can't just tap them on the shoulder anymore. You have to hit them with a sledgehammer, and then you notice you've got their strict attention.
That's really deep.
It
sad.
is.
And it's painful as well.
But it's reality, right? No one's listening
painful.
anymore, man.
No one's listening anymore, yeah, but that's painful.
It is. It is. Most deep quotes in rape prevention, shout fire.
Oh,
that was
like
a new
in
one
rape
for me.
prevention. The first thing they teach is never to cry for help. Always always scream fire. Nobody answers to help. Hold that fire and they'll come running. Yeah.
I mean, that's also a lesson to be learned. At the same time as seeing like, oh, that's deep.
Pick something out of it.
There's also passion. There's a lot of passion all over these walls. In the beginning, when he walked into Gluttony's house, no, not even Gluttony, the death before Gluttony. We have the very last line in the movie, and as Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for."
Yeah,
I agree with the last part. That like. It just ended the movie and like he punched my guts, just like boom, take this.
Like I said, it's like a movie you would find Morgan Freeman in saying something at the beginning, the middle, and then at the end when it's all coming to an end. It makes sense.
It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. 7 deadly sins: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Like I said, pride. Plot twists. Biggest plot twist, man. We both said it.
At the end, man.
Yeah, it was like not even the end. The end felt of it. It's just Spacey coming out of nowhere. That was like it's not a plot twist for the movie, but it's like a plot twist on everything. Like just Spacey popping out of nowhere.
Yeah, true.
The end. I don't want to spoil the end for anyone, but if you see it, I really want to know. Comment down below. What would you have done in that situation? What you have done if you were Mills and also if you were Somerset, right?
Somerset tried his best to stop him. Couldn't.
There could have been an alternate ending where Somerset was the one that did the killing instead of
or even shoots Mills.
Or shoot Mills, to
stop him from doing that.
Butterfly effects all over the place.
But honestly, I wanted him to beat Kevin Spacey. I wanted him to beat John Doe. Maybe he would have like thrown his gun away, like punched him till he was like almost, but not kill him. Yeah, that would have also been I might be like unpopular opinion. Maybe that would have been a good ending as well. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Maybe he was either hesitant or he didn't want to agitate Mills too much. Could it be hesitation or being careful? One of the two.
I just would have wanted to see that ending happen as well. Yeah. Like you just punch John Doe till he's almost gone. Because all of that anger shouldn't have just gone easily. You can't just shoot him and it's over. Punch him. Make him feel it. Yeah. Then take your time again. Then just always torment him somehow. But yeah, he had other plans. Yeah. He just ended it too quick for him.
Too quick, yeah. It kind of almost felt anticlimactic, but I understood it. It's like, this dude is angry.
Yeah, it's over. It gave me this it reminded me of Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding, when when Rob and his wife, when they killed them, everything, and his mom, she had a knife on the throat of one of the wives, and
just
when she knew it was all over, that was a moment of realization that was so sad and painful.
It was.
I think to this day, anytime I watch it, I'm always very quiet. She knew it was over. You see that killing where she slit the throat of, I'm sure to a point she didn't even know what she was doing again.
Yeah,
her body had left, her mind had left her body. She just gave up.
I mean, the dude didn't even care about the girl dying, so it's like,
she just gave up. She was just like,
that scene pisses me off every time. I just saw it a few weeks ago.
It's one of those things that makes Game of Thrones.
It actually pisses me off because of Rob. But that's
his mom warned him.
She did, him. Man. The Stark man, man. But let's not make this a Game of Thrones episode. But yeah, overall rating for the movie.
I'll give it a 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, 9.5.
So high nines.
High nines,
yeah. Same man. It's like 9.5 over 10 for me. Definitely a must watch.
Yeah.
Definitely. I recommend it. Just forget about the year. It's a timeless movie.
Say Povcorn thumbs up.
Yeah.
Recommended.
Oh, that sounds nice. Povcorn thumbs up, yeah. Anything else you want to say about the movie?
Nah, I think we've said most everything we can say. So yeah.
That's nice, man. All right, that's all for today's episode of Povcorn. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed making it and enjoyed watching the movie at the same time. If you did enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which I just came up with right now. But yeah, you might also enjoy our weekly recap, which you can watch right here. And if you want to start a conversation, leave a comment here or follow us on Instagram at pov.corn. That is Instagram at pov.con. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Peace.